James gasped for air, his lungs burning as he jolted awake. The air was thick and stale. His hands shot up, hitting solid wood just inches above his face. Panic surged through him. He was in a coffin. His heart pounded violently as he slammed his fists against the lid. "Help! Somebody help me!" His voice was muffled by the tight space, swallowed by the darkness. Then something even worse happened. A voice, cold and raspy, whispered back, "You're not alone." James froze. His breath hitched. That wasn't his imagination. The voice had come from inside the coffin. With trembling hands, he reached into his pocket, praying his phone was still there. Miraculously, it was. He fumbled to turn on the flashlight. As the dim glow illuminated the coffin, his stomach dropped. Lying next to him, staring straight into his eyes, was a face just like his own. James screamed and thrashed, but the coffin barely budged. The figure beside him didn't move, didn't blink. But then, it smiled. "You took too long," it whispered. James didn't understand. His mind was unraveling. The figure continued, "I was supposed to take your place, but you woke up too soon." James clawed at the wooden walls. "What does that mean? Who are you?" The figure's smile widened. "I'm you, or at least, I was supposed to be." The coffin suddenly lurched, as if being carried. James heard muffled voices outside. "Get him out of there!" someone shouted. Light flooded in as the lid was pried open. James gasped, his lungs finally filling with fresh air. Hands grabbed him, pulling him out. He blinked against the blinding sunlight, trying to adjust. He was in a graveyard. Several men stood around him, their faces pale. An empty grave yawned beside the coffin. James turned, heart hammering. The coffin was empty. His double was gone. The men bombarded him with questions. "How did you get in there? Who did this to you?" James had no answers. He barely understood it himself. But one thing haunted him more than anything else. When they pulled him out, they hadn't lifted the lid. It was already open,